Greetings, trikers, bikers, cagers, and dreamers. You have to have a dream. And today is a beautiful day to have one as we explore on Tennessee's Route 375. It's a road I hadn't been on before, and of course I've always looked for an opportunity to ride with Brer Dan, my riding partner, who leads the way on his Honda Silverwing. Now, I don't know how many of you might know what a Silverwing is. Back in the day, when gold wings were all the rage, Honda came out with a smaller version of that they called the Silverwing, which actually was a V-twin, but the cylinders were jutted out to the sides, kind of like a Moto Guzzi. And it was supposedly quite a nice bike. I knew somebody that had one, and he certainly seemed to enjoy his. But this bike is more scooter-like, actually, in that it has a step-through frame, and it has a fully automatic transmission, basically a twist and go. Makes it easier to ride. No gears to worry about shifting up and down, and a lot of people seem to like that. But scooter, this thing definitely is not, at least in one sense of the word, and in another sense it definitely is a scooter because, man, this thing really does go. He has no trouble staying in front of me, and sometimes I have trouble keeping up with him. Of course, I'm the guy that likes to obey the speed limit, well, most of the time anyway, not always. Dan, he runs, and he runs hard, and he certainly seems to enjoy his machine. Brer Dan and I are headed to Bean Station. Now, he informed me that Bean is actually a family name, and I'm not certain what kind of a station it was, whether it was a stagecoach station or who knows what. It certainly wasn't a railroad station. There isn't anything like that around there. But supposedly there's a good restaurant on top of the mountain that has a great view and offers some pretty good victuals for our noontime meal. Well, we'll check and see if that is actually so or not. One of the unfortunate things is that I'm going to be losing Dan as a riding partner for the first part of the riding season, in that Dan has taken a job in Vermont. And although he claims he'll be back at the end of May, I think the job could stretch out for several months, maybe up to a year. Who knows? Gonna miss him, but I think he said something about he may be taking his bike with him, so he's not going to be entirely without a riding season. And I understand Vermont is a really nice state to ride in. Well, more on that later. He did say, Dan that is, that when he comes back, maybe we can do Route 66. Of course, everybody thinks of Route 66 in terms of U.S. Route 66, and of course the old television program from the early 60s, which is about two fellas driving in a Corvette, and they got a new one every year. Pretty cool, huh? And all the adventures they had along the way. But no, this is Tennessee Route 66, which is quite different. It doesn't cover a lot of states. As a matter of fact, I think it's only in Tennessee. Some beautiful scenery along this road, both sides. Nice farmland, rolling hills, some twisties. Not a very technical road, but it does have its moments. Sometimes we go through some wooded sections where the curves are fairly sharp, which makes it, obviously, more fun to ride on. I'm certainly enjoying it so far, and I hope my enjoyment continues as we press on. Not much traffic on this road, as you can see. always a nice thing. I don't know if they have a good deal of traffic here during busier times of the day. This is a Sunday, so there's probably a lot of people that are out to church. Some people have probably slept in, and some people just cooling their heels, maybe drinking a tall, cool one, who knows. Sounds like a good idea to me. Very green it is. The trees have really come out in their leaves, and everything looks nice and fresh. And this is as a result of the huge amount of rain we've had up through the last few days. And this weekend, starting Saturday and going into Sunday, that is today, this is the first really nice weather we've had in a while. And rumor has it that the temperatures are going to be up in the 80s by the middle of this week. Well, that's a little too much too fast for me. This is a nice 60-degree day. A jacket with or without a liner is just about right, but as we press on up into the mountains, the temperature may drop. Hopefully I won't wind up shivering in my boots as we have our lunch. I really don't know what to expect at lunchtime, other than Dan has promised there's going to be some great views to look at, and well, we will see. I probably will be producing a second video sometime in the future. Maybe we'll document the ride up into the mountains. And but as for now, I'm basically just enjoying this pleasant country road. I still haven't heard from any of my viewers, and by the way, I really appreciate those of you who do take the time to watch my videos, and I always, of course, appreciate comments, and I take suggestions in due course. That is helpful for me to hopefully producing better videos as time goes along. But anyway, I've gotten into a little bit more twisty, woodsy section here. This is kind of what I've been waiting for. It really looks like a great road going forward as we move towards Douglas Lake, which I think is coming into view now. And look at these really nice condos on the left. These are not for poor folks, that's for sure. And down to the right, there's a nice marina. I wonder where the people that live in these places work. Oh, nice bridge here. Reminds me of the scene in Easy Rider. Two guys on the Harley Choppers going across the river in that movie. Fortunately, not a steel deck bridge or grating or anything like that. Always an adventure. And of course, not as much of a problem for me as it might have been for Dan on his two-wheeler. I can recall once going across a steel grated bridge across the Mackinac Bridge, and it was a challenge. I was riding my BMW, and I remember having that kind of tipsy feeling going across that the bike was kind of swerving as the patterns and the grid changed. And I do remember as I came to the end, I had wiggled just about enough so I was on the center line, facing some oncoming traffic. So I had to make a quick correction to keep from running into the guy who was coming towards me. We all have our adventures on motorcycles, I know. One of the things about the motorcycle riding is that there is a certain amount of adventure, even on a trike. Let's face it, you don't have a roof over your head, windows, doors, anything like that. You're really pretty much exposed. No seat belts, no airbags, nothing like that. But I read a recent quote from Helen Keller, the blind lady who accomplished so much in her life, about life without a certain amount of adventure is not living at all. I don't believe that's a direct quote, but that's essentially the sense of what she said. In other words, get out there, take some risks, have some fun. Live, 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 as Auntie Mame would say. But this is just a gorgeous stretch of road. Dan has really gotten quite far ahead of me. Maybe I need to speed up a little bit to try to catch up with him, close up the distance. But with this double solid line, I guess there isn't anybody that's going to squeeze in between us. At some point we'll be in Granger County, and we'll go by the Granger tomato, I guess, processing plant. And Granger tomatoes are kind of legendary in my part of the country. Everybody waits with anxious anticipation for these beautiful, rich, full tomatoes to show up on the grocery shelves. They are good, almost as good as I grew them myself, which I haven't done for several years. One of the reasons, I guess, is because my bank used to have a banker appreciation day where everybody would get tomatoes, and I guess they thought it was good for business. I don't know. Well, Dan's going to pull in and get some of those 93 dead dinosaurs, as Blockhead would say. And I'm just going to swerve around and park because my 7-gallon tank is not quite empty yet. Am I going to make it without hitting that curb? I don't know. It's close, it's close, it's close. Just a little bit I hit it. Okay, time to shut down and say goodbye. Ride safe, keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up, folks.